Hey guys, this is Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, and you're listening to the ML Sports Platter.
The ML Sports Platter back with you all over the major platforms like Stitcher, Deezer, Spotify, Google, Apple. Download, subscribe, leave a 5-star review and some feedback. That stuff does help an awful lot. The ML Sports Platter, part of the Brawl Network, and you can hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports and at Network Brawl as well. We're brought to you by Bryant and Stratton College for every and in life. BryantStratton.edu. 2- and 4-year degrees are always available at Bryant and Stratton College. Head on over to the website, BryantStratton.edu. Find out more about financial aid, the program that's right for you, locations, online learning, and more. And in the greater central New York area, of course, James Street in the city and in Liverpool. You can shop right there at the bookstore as well and request info about classes that start up on May 5th. Learn more at BryantStratton.edu. And again, in the greater central New York area, you're looking to further your education post-high school or changing jobs perhaps. You're looking to do something different, go craft your degree with Bryant and Stratton College, and they can help you out big time. Bryant and Stratton College, the official college of the ML Sports Platter. And with that, let's bring in the head men's basketball coach of the Bobcats of Syracuse. The season is all done. Really fun time, competitive games, and an improved ball club for head coach Dan Frisina. And make sure you follow Dan on Twitter as well. Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good, man. How are you? Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Really fun year. I know you guys, you ended the Cup championship there with a tough loss, 2 points to Buffalo. But overall, by my tally, right, you had a winning record. You went on a really nice streak, and in March there, I was for a lot of the action, of course, from a home game perspective. Pretty good considering everything and all the elements and getting through it with the corona here. And I think you guys have a lot to be proud of, standing tall.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. And those were some of the sentiments that I kind of explained to my team. We were obviously disappointed after losing a close championship game to the Bryant Stratton Buffalo team. Credit goes to them. They went up early on us, and we fought back hard, but they ended up coming out the victors. And I told our guys in the locker room afterwards that, obviously it's tough to hear all this stuff now, but when you're trying to spin it and look for the positives, we had a winning record, like you said. And that was the first season that we've gone with a winning record, which is nice. First team in school history as well to have a 4-game winning streak. We won like four out of the last 5 or 5 out of the last 6 leading up to that championship game. So, we were playing our best basketball towards the end of the year, and that's really what you're looking to do is continue to progress throughout the season, and I think we did that. You mentioned the COVID season. I reiterated that to them as well. We were able to get 11 games in where a lot of the country, college basketball player-wise, wasn't even able to get one in. So, obviously you're upset about the loss, disappointed and all that, but there are a lot of good things to take from the season as well.
As the season has gone on here, and now you're a couple years into this thing, you're already a veteran coach, and you can tell it by the voice. On the sidelines, you start to lose that. You've arrived.
Yeah. You catch on to a lot of these coaching cliches, I guess, throughout the years. But I mean, it's true. I mean, we're happy with where we are. We're not satisfied, but we're making the progress each year. The first year we only won like 4 games. Last year we improved to 7. And this year we had our first winning record. We didn't obviously beat that 7-win mark, but that's because we played fewer games. Had we played a full season, I'm confident that we would have had a shot at the USCA National Championship tournament. And we'll the good thing about this year and what the USCA is doing is allowing us to, our students aren't going to have spent a year. Like, they're going to get the year back. So they'll all be eligible next year as well. We're not losing anybody to graduation. So that continuity that we're going to have with our roster, with the guys that played this year, as well as adding some guys and getting a bit deeper next year, is something to be pretty optimistic about going into next season.
When you guys went on the win streak 4 in a row there in the middle of March, what was working the most? Was it a defensive approach? The ball. I thought the ball movement this year by you guys was really good. What was happening during that stretch?
Yeah, I mean, we started the season 1-3, and after that 1-3 start, we lost by 3 to Casanova. We lost the 3 to our sister school, Bryant, Stratton, and Albany, and we lost by 7 to Buffalo in our first game. So, I mean, we were 1-3, but we're 13 points away from being undefeated. So I told our guys that, I go, listen, we're close. All right, we just got to fine-tune a couple things here and there, and we'll be good. I just need you guys to continue to buy in and do what we're asking you to do, and we'll get there. And to their credit, they did. And I told them the more that we move the ball and share the ball and make the defense work hard, we're going to get easy buckets. And in the games where we won, and we won pretty decisively, you look at the stats, and we had upwards of 27 assists to 11 turnovers. And when you're not turning over the ball that much and you're sharing the ball, it's going to lead to a lot of success. And I think the more that we preach that, and the more that the players took that advice and did it on the court, we were successful. So, once everyone starts, when everyone's sharing the ball and everyone's scoring, the game becomes a lot more fun, and the intensity on defensive end for us picks up. And I think we had some really solid defensive games. We were the smaller team in a lot of those games, and we out-rebounded them. So it just means that we were working hard, and our guys really stepped up to the challenge.
ML Sports Platter, I'm Mike Lindsley. My guest is Dan Frisina, the head men's basketball coach of the Bobcats in Syracuse, Bryant and Stratton College, of course, the official college of the ML Sports Platter, bryantstratton.edu for more information there. Class is always starting soon. As far as your veteran guys, was there one or two who took a major leap forward in your eyes?
I think both our captains, Jerry and Shaq, they've been here since the inception of the program. They were true freshmen when we started. Obviously sophomores this year or last year, and juniors this year, and they're our captains, and they had to play a bigger role in the leadership category. Shaq, the first couple of years was a guy that came off the bench for us, and he started most of the games here for us this year. And we asked him to have to do a lot more. He ended up being our second leading scorer, and he was a guy that was super unselfish and really led by example, and our guys followed him. Jerry, he started, I'd say, 95% of the games since his freshman year. He's been kind of a mainstay in the starting lineup the first 3 years, and this year was a little bit different. He still started, every game that he was available for, but his role on the court was a little bit different. He wasn't asked to score as much. He was more of a facilitator, a guy that kept the ball going. He's our defensive stopper. He usually guards the best ball handler on the other team as well. But towards the end of the year, he started seeing more scoring opportunities. And when he drives the lane, he's so strong. So he didn't obviously put up the numbers that he had in the past, but we weren't really necessarily needing that from him. It was more of him refining his leadership abilities and focusing on doing all the other little things on the court to help us win. We'd have games where, we'd win by double figures, and you look at the stat sheet, and he played like 30-some-odd minutes and only had, a couple shots taken and 3 points scored or something like that. But you look down the line, and he has 7 rebounds, 8 assists. So, he was just kind of our glue guy this year. And some of those other veterans, Luke Richardson, we played 23 games last year, and he may have played in 1 or 2. This year, we asked him to be our starting point guard, and he took that role on, head on, and was that leader for us. He'd get in the lane, he'd dish the ball, also quick-footed on the defensive end and able to get some steals. And then I'd say Richard Jenkins, he came to us having never played college basketball. I don't think he ever played high school basketball as well, but he had the size to be able to play. He just needed to get the experience, and last year he was a bit raw, and this year you could tell he was much more comfortable in what we were asking him to do. And I think with those 4 guys coming back along with the new guys that we had this year, we're going to be that much stronger going into next season.
And into next season, you've obviously got tons to build on and learning experiences this year, to say the least. And you as a coach building and all the rest. What's next? Crystal ball, expectations, what you hope for? Now that this season is over, where are you at now? I'm sure you're hitting the gas pedal pretty quick in the fast lane here.
Yeah, so our team started to scratch the potential of what we could really be, and my expectations next year to not only compete for our conference tournament again and be back in the championship game where we were, and hopefully get a different result, but beyond that, even and making it to our first USCA national championship tournament. We haven't been there yet. It's been a goal of ours since I started here, and our guys, as long as they're putting in the work, that I'm confident that we'll get there. We had, guys that started mid-season for us and came up strong. And the thing is, it's not going to just be given to us because we were playing good at the end of the year. They're going to have to continue to work hard this summer, come back ready to go, in shape, with some of the knowledge that we gave them this year in terms of what we're looking for in our offense and defense, and so that we don't have to keep on starting from scratch every single preseason. So when preseason comes, we got a lot of guys that have been in the system. We can get right into it and hopefully be somewhat close to like a mid-season form during the preseason.
I wanted to highlight someone before we close here, Dan, in terms of Xavier Norby. I know, a guy who's played for the program, and he's now a huge part of Bryant and Stratton College, and I know a guy you've watched grow on and off the floor, and it's really great to see him get rewarded.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been, again, he was another one of the guys that came in with Jerry and Shaq. The only difference with him was he was coming in from a junior college.
Right.
So he came to us as a junior, played here 2 years, was a two-time captain voted on by his teammates. He busted his rump. He started for us. He scored his 1,000th point with us. He was a member of the all-academic team by the USCA, and then his senior season was named the Student Athlete of the Year. So he's got a lot of accomplishments under his belt, and he's just a super responsible, respectful guy. And since graduation, he's been hired here as our assistant basketball coach. He's helped me out tremendously on the sidelines, giving me somebody that I can bounce ideas off of, someone that gives me great ideas and looks at a different perspective. He's closer to our student athletes than I am, obviously, just because of his age and him playing, most recently with his team last year. So he's got the ear of the players, and he can kind of relay their feelings to me and vice versa. So, and now he's also got a job here as a student services administrative assistant. So he's just done everything that we've asked him to do, and he's, a great asset to the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats community for sure.
Head coach Dan Frisina, Bobcats of Syracuse, of course, Bryant and Stratton College. Go check out more information on the team, bscbobcats.com, Bryant and Stratton College, Syracuse, the official college of the ML Sports Platter. Dan, thanks so much for a great year. Thanks for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks for having me.
And now from Dan Frisina, the men's coach, to the women's coach, Clay Sherman, Bobcats of Syracuse, of course. Terrific year getting the games going, obviously 10 in total, really competitive games, and getting on the floor and being back in the gym, for crying out loud, felt good for everyone. Clay Sherman, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
What did you take away from this season?
First of all, just super grateful that, again, that we had the opportunity to get out there and play and have, 10 games under our belt this year. Just super grateful for that opportunity. And then, at the same time, in year two, just, trying to make that next step. I know it was a tough year all around, but, just making that next step as a program, taking that next step, and, just the importance of bringing the team together throughout the course of the season was something that, we definitely took away from this year. It wasn't, what we were expecting, but at the same time, a lot of great lessons throughout the course of the season that we're looking to build off going into year three.
Did you have some players who took a jump maybe this year that who you didn't expect to do that, Clay?
Not that I necessarily didn't expect. I mean, Sulia Afalabi, our returning sophomore, she was a big-time player in our first year. She just made a great step. You could see the experience that she picked up in her freshman season and it carried over this year, and she was, a great part of what we were doing this year. And then, at the same time, we had to replace the nation's leading scorer in Amanda Cruz, who was a senior for us in year one. She didn't come back and play this year because she used all of her eligibility. So there were definitely some big shoes to fill there. And, I think we definitely brought in some great talent this year. We actually had Trainee Delaney, who was a transfer student from SUNY Sullivan. She was Region Player of the Year there. She came in this year and she stepped up big time for us. She was top 5 in scoring in the country. I think she averaged over 17 a game. So she was a great addition to the program. And then also Julie Trowers, who transferred in from Monroe. I think she was an all-conference player at Monroe. She was also an All-American there, but she came in this year and did a great job for us. We're a small team, and she was kind of, one of our only post players that we had, and she led the country in rebounding with almost 11 rebounds per game. Suli definitely made a good jump in year 2, but then at the same time we had some, we had a lot of new faces in our program that have a ton of talent that really helped us.
Clay Sherman with us, head women's basketball coach of the Bobcats in Syracuse. Bryant, Stratton College, of course, doing so many amazing things. Clay, on the court, off the court, on the field, off the field, with all the academics, with the momentum of the programs. We've talked about it since the beginning, since we've been partnered up. What's next, do you think? This school seems to take every month there's another jump. There's a nursing program that's added. There's the basketball programs have another year under their belt. The soccer teams, the cross country, and the success there. As you've gone on here and grown and seen not just your team but the school as a whole, what do you think is coming up next year in the pipeline?
I definitely think, our esports program, we put in the lab last year. We've done a good job, kind of gaining some traction there. We're looking to really build that program up, and hopefully, within the next, in a short time period, we're looking to have a competitive season and have a full roster. So, esports has definitely taken off around the world. I mean, not even a pandemic can slow that down. Definitely looking for the opportunity there to grow our programs through esports. And then, like you mentioned, the nursing program is going to be a massive opportunity to, bring in some really strong students into our college. And at the same time, hoping we can get some women's basketball players that are interested in nursing in the central New York area.
When was the highlight for you? What was the highlight this year for you, this basketball season? What was the ultimate high?
The ultimate high, I mean, I'd have to say, even though we didn't get the results we were looking for, the Vaden Cup was very cool. I mean, it was the beginning of, hopefully something we do year in and year out, going out to, this year was at Buffalo, but bringing all the New York Bryant Strattons together and competing for, kind of a postseason trophy and some bragging rights. So that was definitely, a very cool atmosphere. And, even though we didn't get a win in that tournament, we still went out there, we played competitive, and, it was at the same time, it was great to support the men's team in that tournament because they played phenomenal. They beat Rochester by 20, and then they had a great chance to win the whole thing. So definitely that tournament, it was a cool way to end the year, and hoping to get our name on that trophy in the future.
Final thing for you: the Buffalo, Rochester, Albany, Syracuse, the Bryant and Stratton College circle.
Right.
It's funny, when you don't play each other, you obviously pull for each other because it's all under the umbrella of Bryant and Stratton. Everybody wants everyone to do well. And then you play each other, and you obviously want to beat the opponent. I got to believe, though, that in more ways than one, playing these teams, I mean, the competition's so good. You guys really, at this point, don't surprise each other because you know each other very, very well. And in the end, it's used as a competitive / branding standpoint for the school. It's pretty great to have 4. I mean, you could have 1 or 2, but 4 schools in those regions, in those cities, right under the Bryant umbrella, really makes it a geographic advantage, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and like you said, all the women's basketball teams, we all started at the same point. We started in the same year, and we're all in year 2 right now, and each team has grown to be super competitive. So, right off the bat, when you're scheduling, you get, 6 games that are, pretty close regionally, and they're all good competitive games. So that's a great start to the schedule. Great competition to build our programs. And, it's been a lot of fun getting to know the other coaches and the programs. And like you said, you can't really surprise them. So you have to show up for those games and play your best basketball to get the result. That's for sure.
Bryant and Stratton College, the official college of the ML Sports Platter. Clay Sherman, the head women's basketball coach for the Bobcats of Syracuse. Visit the website to get some more information on the team, bscbobcats.com. And Clay, I know you're super busy. Season's over, but the pedal never gets let up on, right? You're out there getting
That's
ready
right,
for next season and doing some things, I'm sure, grinding along, watching tape, and continuing to build this thing. Thanks so much for an awesome year. Appreciate you having me as well, and continued success along the way.
Thank you for everything, Mike. We appreciate you, man.
For every and in life, Bryant and Stratton College, the official college of the ML Sports Platter. Classes are starting soon. Go check it out. Go craft your degree to and for your degrees. BryantStratton.edu. Thanks for listening to the ML Sports Platter. Make sure you download and subscribe where podcasts are found. For example, if you have an Apple phone, just go find the podcast button. It's purple. You tap it, hit subscribe, hit search, I should say, ML Sports Platter. Type that in, hit subscribe, and all the episodes come in to your smartphone device. I'm on Twitter at Mike L. Sports. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.